Welcome back. Okay, today we're hitting a truly massive milestone in our React journey. It's day 20 of our course, and we're tackling the big one, the topic that literally separates the beginners from the pros, mastering React state management with Redux. Okay, let's dive into this because how do you share data across a massive React app without breaking the whole thing? Seriously, this is the exact question every front-end developer inevitably faces. Imagine you've got this massive application, dozens of components, and you need to share data seamlessly across all of them without your app crashing or turning into a tangled mess of spaghetti code. It's the core challenge of modern front-end architecture, and today we're going to solve it. So here's our quick roadmap for today's explainer. Section 1 is the state management problem, then 2, introduction to Redux, 3, setting up the store, 4, reducers and action creators, and finally 5, accessing and updating state. Let's get right to it. Section 1, the state management problem. Because every React developer eventually hits this notoriously tricky wall as their application begins to scale. Right, before we solve the problem, we've got to define what we're actually managing. State is, simply put, the data your application needs to function at any given moment. In modern 2026 applications, we're talking about form inputs, the items in a shopping cart, whether a user is logged in, or even just UI loading states. It is the living, breathing data of your app. And this brilliantly illustrates an absolutely crucial distinction we need to make: local state versus global state. Say you're building an e-commerce app. A product quantity selector on a single page, that's local state. It only really matters right there. But the logged-in user details or the total shopping cart count, that is global state. That data needs to be shared across multiple parts of your application, from the navigation bar all the way down to the checkout component. Moving on to Section 2, Introduction to Redux. This is our solution, acting essentially as the central nervous system for your React global state. Now, you might be wondering, why go through the hassle of a dedicated tool like Redux? Well, because in modern applications, poor state management leads straight to bugs, totally inconsistent UIs, major performance issues, agonizing debugging, and just incredibly slow feature development. Without a tool to structure things, apps suffer severe scalability issues as you try passing data up and down massive, complex component trees. But integrating Redux, it's actually an empowering 4-part builder's journey. Step 1, set up application. Step 2, create store. Step 3, reducers and actions. And step 4, update state. So let's walk through exactly how to build out this architecture. Section 3, setting up the store. Time to transition from theory to practice and get into the setup phase of our Redux architecture. Step 1 is setting up your React application for Redux integration. Basically, this involves some initial boilerplate and configuration to get your modern React app ready to accept Redux. We bring in the Redux library and bind it to our React component tree so the two can talk to each other smoothly. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the analogy. The concept of a Redux store can sound a bit intimidating at first, but honestly, just think of it as a centralized bank vault holding the entire global state of your application. Instead of spreading data around dozens of different components, all your global data lives securely inside this one single vault. It's safe, it's centralized, and it's highly structured. Section 4, Reducers and Action Creators. Okay, this is historically the most jargon-heavy part of Redux, but don't worry. We're going to break these terms down cleanly and visually right now. Continuing that bank analogy, you know you can't just walk straight into a bank vault and start moving stacks of cash around yourself, right? You need to formalize your request. Well, in Redux, you use an action creator. Think of action creators as your deposit slips or withdrawal slips. They're standardized forms detailing your specific intent to change the state. It essentially says, hey, here's what I want to do, and here's the data I need to do it. So you filled out your deposit slip, your action. Who do you hand it to? The reducer. Reducers are literally the bank tellers of your application. They take the action you just dispatched, they read your intent, and then they are the ones who actually perform the safe, immutable update to the vault's ledger, the store's data. You never, ever touch the state directly. The reducer does the heavy lifting for you based on your action. Section 5, accessing and updating state. This is the payoff, folks. This is how we actually use this whole architecture in our daily React development.
Now that our vault is set up and we've got tellers to manage it, we need to read from it. Accessing state directly from the centralized Redux store means pulling data out of our global vault so that any component, anywhere in the app, can display it. You don't have to awkwardly pass props down 10 levels anymore. A component just connects directly to the store and grabs exactly what it needs, a real game changer.
So the crucial point here is the strict, predictable sequence. Let's walk through the order of operations together. First, a component triggers an action creator, say a user clicking a buy button. Second, that action is dispatched to the store. Third, the reducer steps in, processes the action, and calculates the new state. And fourth, the store updates and automatically triggers a re-render for any component that cares about that specific data. It's a strict, one-way, perfectly traceable flow of data.
Which brings us to this absolute golden rule of front-end engineering from our source material on state management in 2026. Keep state predictable and traceable. This is exactly why the strictness of Redux is actually its greatest superpower. By forcing you to use actions and reducers, Redux ensures that every single change in your application's data leaves a clear, totally debuggable trail.
And just like that, we wrap up day 20 of our React journey. We've covered the what, the why, and the how of Redux architecture. So as you close this explainer and open up your code editor, I want to leave you with this. How will mastering global state change the way you architect your next massive React application? Think about the beautifully clean, scalable systems you can build now. Keep coding, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next explainer.